Welcome back, everyone. As woodworkers, we all love to hear about new tips and tricks in the woodworking industry. And where do we usually go to learn about those tricks? It's very often on the internet and on YouTube. So I found a video with the title Top 33 Woodworking Hacks and Tips, and I thought, well, let's watch it together. Okay, just give me a second to start that video. Okay, there's someone using. Seems like he wants to screw two 2x4s together, and he's using a screw and a crowbar. And yeah, he's removing the screw now. Okay, well, let me pause this for a second. Seems like that trick or what, it worked so far. But I really wonder how it would be useful for woodworking, to be honest. Maybe if you're a framer or you work somewhere else on the job site, maybe that's a useful trick, but I don't know. For me as a woodworker trying to make furniture in his shop, it seems like that trick was not very useful. It worked, but for a woodworker, I don't know. But let's move on. Okay. That looks like it's a stair or so. Well, that worked too, and I on that trick I see more that it could be useful for woodworkers because it's goes more on the joinery direction, I would say. So well, yeah, second tip was not that bad. Number 3, okay, he's obviously trying to drill a hole with a hole saw. He's putting 2 hole saws together. Oh, there was an existing hole, and he's yeah, I see that. That's I would say there. That was not a bad trick. I remember I used a similar trick when I built a door once, and it had an existing hole for the doorknob, and yeah, I made a little template for this. But yeah, that works too. So yeah, I think that was not a bad trick. Okay. Yeah, that was also not that bad. Yeah, I don't know. That could we say that this is a hack? I don't know, or a trick. It seems to be obvious to not use a nail or a saw or a screw with a too small head for a hole. I don't know. He just obviously he just put a washer on that nail to increase the head of the nail. So yeah, okay, whatever. Seems like all of those tricks are more for let's say framers or so, but not necessarily for woodworkers who work in a shop. Yeah, okay, fair enough. But this is also seemed to be very obvious to me. Yeah, I get it, but I like this last trick here. Let me yeah, this one here. I get it. It does work, but I think you could do the same with just a random board or and together with a clamp or even just a clamp to do that to make sure that the piece of wood that you want to screw on is not slipping away. But it worked. Yeah, and now you have like 2 extra holes in your post. Okay, he's obviously trying to. Okay. Yeah, I would say that's not that bad as a trick. I remember I did something similar in the past, but it was more for more at a wall. It was not at a concrete floor, so it was on the wall. I remember I thought I would, if I remember correctly, I tried to hang a picture or so. So, and the hole in the wall and the brick wall was too big for a dowel. So we just filled it with a piece of wood, and so that we can screw the hook for the picture on. And I think for a picture it's good enough, but for something more structural, I don't know. At the on the floor might work, but on the at a wall, I wouldn't necessarily do that to hang something that is more critical than a picture. Even a shelf might be too much, but let's move on. What do we have here? Okay. Yeah, another one that's pretty obvious to me. It's not necessarily a hack, I would say. Yeah, I get that too. I think this is I don't want to say only bad things about that video, but that's another thing that's so obvious to me and probably to most of us. And well, let's see. He screwed on a piece of scrap wood on it, and depends on what this little post is for. But he screwed it on to hammer it, and then he removed the screw. So now again, he has some screw holes, very obvious screw holes on this little post. And I don't know, maybe it doesn't matter. Maybe something will. Maybe he's going to put something on that later. But if it's just a single post that's standing there for whatever reason, then you have some very ugly holes on the top. I don't know. Okay, see that maybe it doesn't matter. I should have watched it to the end. Okay, what do we have here now? Okay, he is obviously using those as a clamp. Yeah, yeah, I get that. It's a nice trick. I used it in the past too. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, that works. It's not necessarily. I wouldn't necessarily call it a trick or a hack. But as a professional, we all know that we are familiar with those tricks. But for an amateur, maybe that is something new. And so yeah, that was. I think that was useful. That was useful. Yeah. Okay. I want to see this again. What's he doing there? Okay, he seems like he overstrapped a screw, and now he is drilling it out, which is not a bad idea. But where I come from, this dowel he's putting in there is is not for wood. Um it's for concrete or brick walls. It's called what we say in Germany a Fischer dowel. And maybe in this particular case it doesn't really matter because it's a hinge for seems like a door, and he has more. It's not the only hinge, I think so. Well, I'm pretty sure. And there are five screws in each hinge. And if one is not one screw in that hinge, it doesn't really do its trick. It's probably doesn't really matter. But I would rather recommend, instead of putting this dowel in, I would just use a wood dowel with some glue, wait an hour or so, and then put in this screw properly. So this, yeah, this I wouldn't recommend doing this. Like I said, in this particular case, it probably doesn't really matter, but it's yeah, this is pretty much wrong. This is wrong. But let's move on. Okay. Screws coming through. He says it's not good. Let's go back. I want to see this again. He says this is wrong, and he says instead. So putting the screw in an angle is wrong, and putting the screw in straight, he says, is right. I wouldn't necessarily agree with it because it always depends on what kind of joint you're going to make. This is not, I can't really see what this would be for, but for some types of joinery, it's probably right going instead of in an angle, putting in straight. But then you have then the, I would say, if putting the screw in this angle in, like straight down, the wood is more likely to split because of the screw head. And I don't see why this, like I said, it depends on what you want to build, but I wouldn't say, okay, in any case you have to do what he's recommending instead of what he says is wrong. So difficult. Okay, was this really a hack? He just showed a, a joint. Okay, some chain from a. Okay, this uh, this is hilarious. He's cutting a piece of some chain from a bicycle or so into pieces, and he's making hinges out of it. Well, I never thought about this, but I don't know. Depends on what he has here. This pretty much looks like some particle board with a veneer on it, so it's more like a mid-century piece of furniture. And I wouldn't necessarily say, okay, it's looking good. The hinges are looking good on this particular piece of on this board, but I like the idea. It has some. It looks a little bit like it has some. It gives me some Mad Max vibes. You know what I mean? I like it. To be honest, I like it. Okay. Okay. What's he's trying to show me? Okay, just another joint. Okay, what do we get here? Looks like an old. What is it? It's from a tire, right? Oh, he's. Yeah, it's. Let Let us see this again. I get it. I totally get it, but is it really worth to spend time on making these little clamps? And how, usually for these type of clamps, you need a bunch of to do the trick. It's usually for edge gluing. If you want to put glue an edge on a board or so, those clamps are really useful for it. So but to do this properly, you need quite a few of them. And how much time would you spend on making or updating those clamps when you can pretty much just buy them for a few bucks? Oh, that's a lot of glue. Yeah, you know what I mean. Yeah, some edge gluing. He used way too much glue. But yeah, like I said, you can just buy those clamps for a few bucks. You don't necessarily need to make them. Okay, he used something. Oh, what is this tool called that he used to do the mark on? Or is it a tool, or did he just make? No, it's a tool. He didn't made it by himself. So I know, I know the German word. In Germany we say it's a Schmiege, but I forgot the name of that tool. But yeah, I'm sure someone can help me out with that. But is it really a hack, or is it just using a tool? Yeah. Okay. Oh, he's burning the wood. Well, this you can probably call a hack or a tip, but this time so many people are doing this to, like, as a stain, like the wood burning, and well, lots of people like it. I used to like it too, but I saw this too often in the past now. So it's but for someone who's new to woodworking, yeah, it's a good tip. Okay, just a piece of metal to make a joint. Not really a trick. Yeah, saw that coming. Oh, he's. Okay. Is this really a trick? So he reversed the drill while he was screwing it on. So he reversed he spin the screw in reverse mode, and it caused the wood not to split. I think that is something I might want to try out to see if it works, but it could also have happened that he just over torqued the screw on the right and caused the wood to split. Let me just go back a few seconds. I want to see this again. I want to see exactly what he's doing. Okay. So doesn't make sense to me, because yeah, he put the driver in reverse mode, and he made a few rounds in reverse, and but you can see clearly that the wood or the board is not the hole is not getting bigger by just using reverse mode. So, and but you also see the wood on that side or the grain on the wood is completely different than on the other side. So I'm not saying necessarily that on the right side the wood is more likely to crack or split up than on the left side, but it could have something to do with it. So I don't buy that, to be honest. I don't buy it what he's doing. But I like I said, I might gonna try that out and give you the results. But maybe maybe he tried this out on the same board like a couple of times until it worked, and he just only presented us the the one time where his hack or trick did work. So, wow, I don't know. Ah, I probably see what's coming. Oh no, this is new. Okay. Yep. Yep. That's a good trick. The or let's say it's a good trick. Depends on what you're doing. If you're trying to glue two boards together, and it does work, It does definitely work, but you have to make sure that the two boards that you want to glue together are perfectly straight, because if they are not 100% straight and you put those boards together and there's a little gap and you're trying to close that gap by using this as a clamp, I'm not sure if you can get enough force from this clamp trick to get those two boards together. And also there are not enough, or let's say not enough, but you see, okay, there are on the bottom there's pretty much only one, on the top there's only two spots where the clamp sits, so it's not at the whole length. Difficult. You can try that. It definitely works. Like I said, definitely works. What he did over there, but not on every board. So you definitely have to make sure that you have two boards that are already perfectly straight to glue them together. Okay, what's he doing now? Yeah, pretty much the same trick as he showed us first time. Yeah. Okay. Okay. What's this now? Oh, he's screwing in two spikes and oh yeah, I saw that before. It works, but do you really need it? I doubt it. This is also, I wouldn't say a trick or a hack. This is pretty much just using the material that you have in the right way, right? Okay. Oh, come on. That's not a trick. This is just knowing geometry. This is not a trick. This is just knowing geometry. And everyone who, I would say, everyone who's a woodworker needs to have a certain skills to be successful in woodworking, even as a hobbyist. And knowing geometry and basic math is definitely part of it. So yeah, I don't want to say too much about it, but I wouldn't say that was a hack or a trick. Okay, maybe I missed something on that one. You put a bolt in a vise. Oh, oh. I pretty much I might see what's coming. So he turned a metric or a machine screw into a wood screw. Well, maybe it works, but again, there is material, there are tools for certain tricks. If you're on a job site and you don't have a bolt or a big wood screw that you would need in this case, how likely is it that you have, instead of a wood bolt or big screw, you only have a machine screw? But how likely is it that you have a vise and that metal, what is a spring? Or no, he made that spring, but what is it called? Yeah, that little wire. How likely is it that you have a vise and a wire? Yeah, it looks fancy, but it's you will never run in a situation where this is going to happen. Yeah, is this really a trick? Not sure. If as a woodworker in a shop, you usually have enough material. So what you would do instead of making why did he not just cut those two pieces on the side and cut a miter? Maybe he wanted to have this edge on the bench or what it is. Doesn't really look like it's a dining table for someone he's making. So it looks more like it's a maybe a workbench in a shop. And how really do you want this type of corner on your workbench? Does it really matter? I don't know. It works. We see it works, but does it really matter? I don't know. I don't know. Let's move on. Okay. A nail is wrong. Yeah. Oh boy. One of those again. Okay. You know what? The reason why a nail has a head and sometimes a bigger head is not to not miss it with your hammer while you're hammering it down. There's a reason why there's a head, and the reason is to hold two pieces of wood together. And if you want to have something that looks better, then you think about if you don't want this a visible nail head or a screw head, you can definitely there are lots of ways how to bring two boards together than just a nail. So if you really don't want to see a nail head, find something else. But this is just garbage. This is not a hack at all to flatten the head of the nail so that you cannot see it. And after that he's sanding it, and he's kind of moving the loose dust into or over this flattened nail head to make it not. Oh, this is we all know. Well, you know what? I don't need to explain this. We all know that this is just garbage. This is not a hack at all. This is nothing. Yeah, come on. Okay, okay. I get what he's doing, and seems to work, but why why would you do that? Just why? How likely is it if you want to bring this like a T joint like this, how likely is it that you are in your shop and you want to bring those two pieces together? You have no tools, no saw, no glue, no dowel, no drill, no nothing. But you have some nails and you have a piece of wire. Then I get then you can do that. But how likely is that you're gonna run into a situation like this? Well, this is hilarious. Yeah, this is hilarious. Come on. Okay, some wire again. Okay, that's interesting. Hmm. This is not a bad idea, let's say. So for again, for a woodworker, you don't need this. It's not a woodworking hack or trick. But I know that I can only speak for myself, but I live so I live on 6 acres with family and my wife and mother-in-law. And my wife and my mother-in-law, they have lots of plants in the garden. They have fruits and trees and all of that. And also there are lots of bushes for what is it? Not raspberries, is it not I forgot what berries there are, but I can see that in the garden that could be useful. Yeah, yeah. But again, it's not a woodworking hack. Okay, something to hold the door open. Okay, I think that was the that was the last trick. Yeah. Okay, the last one. Okay, can't go back. Oh, well, doesn't really matter. Oh, that's a different movie already. Okay, so the last one, we saw it works. We don't know how strong that was. That little device he made to hold the door open. But we saw it works. But again, you can buy it for a few bucks at any Home Depot or Lowe's or whatever. You don't need to spend an hour or two in your shop to make something like this. You can just buy it for a few bucks. So it's also not really a trick, I would say. Yeah, what can I say about that video? It was definitely entertaining. Some some of the tricks were useful. Some were like, okay, obvious, everyone knows that, and some were just were just garbage, to be honest. Hilariously, but just garbage, not no tricks at all. But yeah, at least I enjoyed watching that video. So yeah, what do you think?